Hello everyone, Julio Torres here, and this is part 1 of my Power Rangers Legacy 6.5 inch figures Wave 2 review. So with every wave of the Power Rangers Legacy figure line, Bandai chooses 2 teams. So that way after 2 waves, one entire team will be complete, or 3 waves if you're Mighty Morphin. Bandai has decided to package In Space and Mighty Morphin with Wave 2, with In Space Red and Yellow, which is what I'm reviewing today, and Mighty Morphin Blue, Black, and Pink. When I picked up In Space Red and Yellow, I was able to find Mighty Morphin Pink, however I wasn't able to find Mighty Morphin Black and Mighty Morphin Blue. So I decided, hey, there are 2 teams in one wave, why don't I separate the review so that way each team gets their own video. So I hope you guys are okay with that format. So today we're going to be reviewing the Legacy figures for the Red In Space Ranger and the Yellow In Space Ranger. Each of them comes with an Astro Blaster and with a Megazord piece. So let's get on with this review. So over here are our first 2 Legacy In Space figures, the Red and Yellow Rangers, or if you prefer, Andros and Ashley. So you can see that they each include a holster, their Astro Blasters, and a Build a Megazord piece. So before we get to the figures themselves, let me take a look at the Build a Megazord pieces just for a second. So over here you have the chest for the Astro Megazord, and this actually has a lot of articulation even though it's just a chest piece. You can move the hips over here, and you can move the head 360, and you can also make the head nod. And now about the hip movement, I'm pretty sure the chest piece for the Dino Megazord also has it as well, but from when I tried to turn it, it was pretty hard to do so, and plus the fact I don't want to break my Dino Megazord chest piece because I don't want to buy another Red Ranger again. So yeah, here's the chest piece, and it looks pretty nice so far, and I like the attention to detail that they gave to it, especially because of the fact that the Astro Megazord is one of my favorites. And next we have the leg, which is included with Ashley. Now this is actually the right leg, and you can move the knee over here. You can't move it to the side unfortunately, but you can still take it out. And you can move the foot. And you could actually remove the foot as well. Now the good part about the Astro Megazord, because of the fact that the foot is so large, when you put it together, it could just stand on one leg, which is actually pretty impressive. And this can actually stay there as a display piece for now until we get the rest of the space figures in 2017. So next let's get on to the actual figures themselves. And I'm going to start with Andros. Now, the good part about this review is that I get to show off both body types, the male and female, for the Legacy figures. So, over here we have Andros with the male body type. And for articulation, you can spread out his arms, put him back in, and you'll notice that slight crack. Now, the reason that happens is because if you look at other Legacy figures, especially the ones for Wave 1, the arms are pretty loose, where you can move them pretty easily. They weren't loose to the point of breaking, but they were still pretty loose. But now for Wave 2 onwards, they actually made the arms a lot harder to move. Which I guess is pretty good, because you can keep the figures in one position, like sturdy, and plus the fact that you won't feel afraid of this popping off or something like that. You can move the arms 360 like this. You can move the cuffs, the hands. And for the legs, you can spread them out, do a kick, go back. You have double jointed knees over here, so you can move the knees sort of like in a kneeling position. And you have the foot. And as for the head, you can turn it 360. And you have the little ab crunch over here. So in case you want one of your figures to go flying off, you can sort of do this. But yeah, that's all articulation-wise for Andros. Now for accessories, like the Mighty Morphin figures, Andros doesn't come with much. He only comes with his Megazord piece and his blaster over here. And you can actually put it on his hand, and wait a minute. And you could pose it. And something to know, when I bought my Legacy In Space Red Ranger, this hand was actually pretty loose, and it still kind of is. And you can see that you're able to pose them with the blaster, which it's a shame that the figure couldn't come with more accessories. When you compare these figures to something like Marvel Legends, the Marvel Legends figures are able to come with multiple hands and various accessories, and yet they cost the same price as these guys. And even they have Build-A-Figure pieces as well. So I don't know why the Rangers couldn't come with more weapons, but Greg from Bandai, who sadly no longer works at Bandai, has said that they are going to release weapons possibly next year. So that's pretty good news. And now that we finished with Andros, let's get Ashley out. So over here you can see Ashley, and she basically has almost the same articulation as Andros. You have the 360 head. Let me just pick up that blaster. Yeah, the blasters come off very easily in the holster. You have the arms. You can swivel the arms over here. You could be able to do that with the hands. Now you can't turn the cuffs because of the fact that you could already turn the entire arm. You have the legs over here. You have double joint knees again. Foot movement. And you can actually spread out the legs like this. Now unfortunately the slit to these skirts don't really do much because of the fact that the front of the skirt is basically hard plastic. But from what I've seen from the Ninja Steel figures, Bandai has really fixed up this whole skirt thing, which I'm proud of them for doing, and I hope that for Wave 3 they get their act together and they're able to improve the skirt on the Legacy figures. But yeah, that's all really an articulation for Ashley, and again, just like with Andros, you only have the blaster as the weapon, no Star Slinger or anything. But hopefully they'll release the weapons in 2017, and it's going to be pretty awesome if they release the weapons. Because of the fact that we'll finally be able to get the Spiral Saber, the Power Sword, all of those iconic weapons from Power Rangers from throughout the years. Now let me just make Ashley stand. And that's basically it for the Legacy and Space figures, at least from Wave 2. We still have the rest of the team that's coming in Wave 3, and hopefully the Silver Ranger will be coming in a lot sooner. So, what do I think of these figures? Here are my final thoughts. So overall, these Legacy figures are really nice, and I would recommend them if you're a fan of the Power Rangers Legacy line, a fan of Power Rangers in Space, or just a fan of Power Rangers in general. Just like with the rest of the Legacy figures, the details on these figures are spot on, as well as the articulation. And they actually feel like collector's items, sort of like Marvel Legends. I also like that they picked In Space for this wave, and that In Space will be completed next wave with black, blue, and pink. Well, technically not complete because Silver isn't coming out anytime soon, but you get what I'm saying. I like that they picked In Space because of the fact that In Space is one of the most popular seasons. And with In Space getting their figures, maybe this could open up the doors for more popular seasons, just like Time Force, RPM, and hopefully soon, SPD. But these figures are overall really nice, and I would really recommend picking them up. Well, that's all I have to say. Until next time, I'm Hulu Toy Reviews, and I'm signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone.